Bonjour, hello, my name is Stéphanie Childress. I'm 21 years old and I'm a conductor. I recently participated in the inaugural conducting competition in Paris called La Maestra, which was originally meant to happen in March 2020, but obviously because of the pandemic, it was pushed back to September. And it's a very important competition, which is why I'm talking to you about it today. It is something that is trying to resolve a serious problem that we have in the world of classical music, which is namely the lack of female conductors on the international concert platform leading world-class orchestras, and even the lack of representation which young female conductors are missing. And it was created by a fantastic lady called Claire Gibault, a conductor herself, who struggled through many years to be recognized, although she was the first to do a lot of things. She was the first woman to conduct at La Scala, namely. She has her own orchestra in Paris, the Paris Mozart Orchestra. And I wanted really to be a part of this competition in a bid to kind of redress the balance and show the world that there are high quality female conductors out there, and that, you know, you only have to open one door for then all of us to make a stand and to show what we really have to offer. And I was really lucky. I didn't think I would even get past the first round, but I ended up going all the way to the final, which took place at the Philharmonie in the Pierre Boulez Hall, the recently opened Pierre Boulez Hall. And I was lucky enough to come second in the entire competition. My voyage, let's say, starting from a young age, my musical journey really began at the age of 4 when I spotted Nigel Kennedy playing the Four Seasons. It was kind of like one of those life-changing moments where, you know, time stops, and I was watching this very funny little man sort of bouncing around the stage playing one of the world's most famous classical music pieces. And I decided to learn the violin, and for a long time it was just a hobby and I wasn't very interested, and I'd never really considered, you know, picking up a baton or standing in front of a group of my friends and conducting them, until I started to work in youth orchestras, and I became very close with a lot of great conductors, and I got to work with a lot of fantastic conductors, and suddenly something in me said, you know, maybe this could be for me. This could be something that inspires me in a way that the violin doesn't quite do. And I was very lucky also because my mother and my father were extremely supportive. They never said that this wasn't a profession for me, nor that, you know, oh, well, you know, we don't see a lot of female conductors, so we don't really think it's something that's possible for you. I was also very lucky because I was in a very supportive environment. I went to university at the age of 16 and was lucky enough to have some amazing friends and colleagues who would help me put on concerts where I could conduct, and namely we did some crazy projects like Britain's The Rape of Lucretia with some student singers, and we also put on Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in the St. John's College Chapel, which was a huge endeavour in itself. But throughout my musical journey, as I said, I was very lucky, and I know that a lot of women, especially the generations above me, were not so lucky, and I think that's why this competition is so important, you know, to show that to any young girl who might think that conducting is maybe not for her, to kind of prove that it is something that's available to everyone. Conducting is such an individualistic art form. It's something that has to come from you, which is why, you know, man, woman, whatever you identify as, it's very important that we have as many voices and as many interpretations of the same pieces of music as we can. And, you know, the Western art canon is big, but is also relatively narrow. And I think reinterpreting these pieces is one of the biggest joys that we can take, and also discovering new repertoire. And I think we need new voices and new personalities to be able to do that. Every generation needs its new its new leaders in their fields, and I think this is the time to have as many different types of people as possible. So I wanted to be a part of this competition in order to do that. Also, my mother tongue is French. I grew up in London, but I went to the Lycée Charles de Gaulle. My mother is French, and I spoke French all my life. It was very important for me to go back to France and actually conduct a French orchestra, and we had a fantastic orchestra, the Paris Mozart Orchestra, who really supported us throughout the entire competition with beautiful playing and a generosity of spirit that you don't find in a lot of orchestras. And it was important for me to work with the French orchestra to re-establish my connections with France on a musical level, aside from a personal level. I've been very lucky. I've worked in England. I've lived in England my entire life, and my entire musical career has been based around the English-speaking world. So going back to my roots in France was also a beautiful journey for me, and I was so grateful that I could do it after 5 or 6 months of being stuck at home, as we all have. It was also important for La Philharmonie to put this competition on, and I remember that when it was cancelled in March, Laurent Baille, who's the director of La Philharmonie, insisted that this be the first project that was rescheduled out of all their cancelled concerts. So I think that the spirit of progress that the competition was trying to emulate really shone through, and it's something that, as I said, I really wanted to be a part of. And I hope that as a young female conductor, I was able to perhaps even inspire a girl younger than me to pick up a baton, or to ignore people who might have told her that this career path wasn't really for her, and to just go for it, because it's the most amazing journey. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in a concert hall soon.